3 minutes. All right, everybody. So it's before the sermon. This is where Steve gets to talk about what he's going to be preaching on. So, Steve, you were saying that next week you're not preaching from Ephesians. That's huge.
Can you believe it?
Yeah. Well, I'm a little incredulous, but what are you preaching on instead? What's coming?
Yeah, so it's going to be Advent time. So I know we already had week 1 and today week 2 of technically being Advent,
right.
And I didn't do an Advent sermon. So we're going to get a couple of them. So the next 2 Sundays will be Advent sermons. The one after that is Christmas Day. That'll be Incarnation, Jesus is Here sermon. But I'm pretty excited about the way they're shaping up for me on paper so far. And in the first one, the one coming up next week, what I really want to do is I want to start off with creation and how we're created in the image of God and work from that to some things about the incarnation and Jesus as the image of God. And there's some really amazing like cosmic stuff going on there that we might not realize when we just think, okay, God became man. There's a lot more involved. So I want to explore a lot of that stuff. But Advent messages, by the way. So like before this month, would you have known what Advent means? What is Advent? Would you have known?
So I'm actually familiar with Advent because I have a
would have
little
known.
bit of liturgical mixed in
Right.
with my background, but I'm sure there are lots of people at our church, maybe not.
So you remember I mentioned last week that I had none of this church calendar in my background.
Right.
I actually had to look up again this week. What does the term Advent mean? And well, I should have known. It's based on Christ's first Advent and his second Advent. And the word Advent is Latin for his coming. So it just means it's his coming. So we have...
And we're preparing for his coming.
Yeah, so we have 4 weeks of Advent, his coming, and then he comes. I don't know. That's what it is. That's how it works. So we're actually going to do some Advent. And man, we had a lot of Christmas singing today. Not
Yes,
every
we
song
did.
was,
It was
but
awesome.
man, the people were singing. It was really
And we
cool.
had that Cornerstone original too. I really love that one.
Oh, I totally love that. You know, when we do those, most people don't know those are originals.
Nope, they don't.
I'd like to stand up and say, do you all know they wrote that? Because they're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love them. So Advent. The second week is probably going to be looking at some New Testament passages that are leading up to Christ's coming. I really want to spend some time on John the Baptist if I can. But the third week is going to be just full-blown. He's here. He's in the manger. Here's the Magi. Here's the angels. Here's all this. We're out of time.
We are out of time. But we'll have to hear about that in the sermon. I can't
sermon.
wait.
Thanks,
All right,
Sean.
see you, Steve.
See you.